Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anubha Rohatgi and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha with the evening news. The headlines. Fifth round of talks between central government and farmers conclude. Next meeting to be held on Wednesday. COVID-19 national recovery rate improves to 94.28%. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone of new proposed parliament building in New Delhi on the 10th of this month. Kolkata Metro to increase its train services from 190 to 204 from Monday. And in cricket, India to take on Australia in second encounter of three-match T20 series in Sydney tomorrow. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. The next and the sixth round of meeting between the central government and representatives of farmers' unions will be held on 9th of December. The fifth round of talks to address the issues concerning the farmers was held at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi today. Talking to reporters after the meeting, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar reassured the farmers' unions that the system of minimum support price MSP will continue and there is no threat to it. He said it is baseless to create doubt over this.
चर्चा बहुत अच्छे माहौल में हुई। हमने कहा है कि एमएसपी जारी रहेगी। एमएसपी पर किसी भी प्रकार का खतरा और इस पर शंका करना बेबुनियाद है, लेकिन फिर भी किसी के मन में कोई शंका है तो सरकार उसका समाधान करने के लिए पूरी तरह तैयार है।
Mr. Tomar reiterated the government's commitment to the welfare of the farmers. He said the government is ready to hold talks with the farmers to resolve their issues. He appealed to the protesting farmers to withdraw their protest. He said that the APMC will continue.
APMC एक्ट राज्य का है और राज्य की मंडी को किसी भी प्रकार से प्रभावित करने का इरादा न तो हमारा है और न ही कानूनी रूप से वो प्रभावित होती है। APMC और मजबूत हो इस दिशा में सरकार के लिए जो करनी है वह करने के लिए भी सरकार तैयार है। APMC के मामले में किसी प्रकार की गलतफहमी किसी को है तो सरकार समाधान करने के लिए पूरी तरह तैयार है।
The Agriculture Minister reassured the Farmers Union that the Narendra Modi government is fully committed to the interest of farmers and will remain so in future. He said in the last 6 years, major reforms have been undertaken under the leadership of Narendra Modi in the agriculture sector. He said several agricultural schemes have been implemented. Income of farmers has increased. Agricultural budget and MSP has also been raised. He said the government is ready to hold talks with the farmers to resolve their issues.
India's total active caseload has dropped below 4.10 lakh today. The number of active cases is currently at the level of 4,09,689. This is the lowest after 136 days. The total active cases were 4,11,133 on the 22nd of July. The Health Ministry in a statement said this has been made possible by the trend of recoveries exceeding the new cases, which has ensured a total net reduction of the active caseload. India's present active caseload consists of just 4.26% of the country's total positive cases. The new recoveries have led to a net decline of 6,393 in the total number of active cases. The daily new recoveries recorded in the country have been more than the daily cases registered from the last 8 days. The ministry said the rising recoveries also improved the country's recovery rate to 94.28% today. The total recovered cases stands at 90,58,822 with 42,533 patients recovered in the past 24 hours. The ministry said 78.06% of the new recovered cases are observed to be concentrated in 10 states and union territories. Maharashtra has reported the maximum number of single-day recoveries with 6,776 newly recovered cases. 5,496 people recovered in Kerala, followed by 4,862 in Delhi. A total of 36,652 fresh cases have been reported in the past 24 hours. With this, the total number of cases has gone up to 96,08,211. During the past 24 hours, 512 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,39,700. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.45%. According to the Indian Council of Medical Research, over 11,57,000 tests were conducted during the past 24 hours. The total number of samples tested so far has gone up to over 14 crore and 58 lakh. Haryana Health Minister Anil Vij tested positive for COVID-19 today. He has been admitted to Civil Hospital Ambala Cant. DG Health Services Dr. Suraj Bhan has confirmed it. The minister has advised all those to get tested for COVID-19 who have come in close contact with him recently. Mr. Vij has registered himself as a volunteer for third trial of vaccine for COVID-19 and was administered a trial dose of Covaxin recently. However, the vaccine developer Bharat Biotech said 2 doses of the vaccine are needed for Covaxin clinical trials given 28 days apart. It said the efficacy of the vaccine will be determined 14 to 15 days post the second dose. Overall, it takes 42 days for results.
Maharashtra today reported 4,922 COVID-19 cases, taking the total number of affected people to 18,47,509. With 95 fatalities, the corona death toll in the state has climbed to 47,694. A total of 5,834 patients were discharged in the day, taking the total number of recoveries to 17,15,884. The number of active cases stand at 82,849. The recovery rate in the state stands at 92.88%, while the case fatality rate is 2.58%. In Kerala, 5,848 new cases of COVID-19 were reported today, along with 5,820 recoveries. 60,503 samples were tested in the last 24 hours, and the test positivity rate is 9.67%. There are 61,393 corona patients currently undergoing treatment. Meanwhile, 32 recent deaths in the state were confirmed as due to COVID, taking the death toll to 2,390.
In Manipur, 4 persons have died due to COVID-19 during the past 24 hours, increasing the total fatalities to 299 so far in the state. On the other hand, 166 people, including 7 personnel of the Central Armed Police Force, have tested positive for COVID-19. Among the new cases, 157 cases are locals and do not have travel history. With these new cases, the total number of affected people has reached 25,857 so far in the state. 210 people have recovered in the past 24 hours. The state recovery rate is 87.61%. So far, Manipur has recorded total 22,655 recoveries, while the number of active cases is 2,903. In Nagaland, 35 people today tested for COVID-19, taking the total number of infected persons to 11,340 so far in the state. According to State Health Department, of the total cases reported, 34 are from Kohima, while 1 is from Kifere. Presently, there are 511 active corona cases in the state. 10,649 people have recovered from the infection so far. So far, 58 people have died due to COVID-19, while 3 deaths are under investigation. Dimapur and Kohima have the highest sample positivity rate in the state, constituting 13.4% and 10.1%.
The charges for COVID-19 rapid antigen test for inter-island passengers travelling via helicopter, ship or by road in Andaman and Nicobar Islands has been reduced from 500 rupees to 200. However, the incoming passengers from mainland at Port Blair Airport will continue to pay 500 rupees for the test. Moreover, the negative test report will now be valid for 3 days. This will come into force from 7th December. The decision has been taken considering the reduction in the number of positive cases in the islands. It is to be mentioned that all passengers moving from one island to another have to go for rapid antigen test before starting their journey. All the passengers coming from mainland are also being tested at Port Blair Airport. The decision will provide relief to all inter-island passengers and tourists as well. Earlier, the inter-islands ferry services were also extended. The Directorate of Shipping Services is planning to resume all shipping services as pre-COVID-19 period, depending upon the situation. In order to enhance passenger convenience for the people, the Kolkata Metro has decided to run additional services and extend timings of its services from Monday. Metro Railway Kolkata will run 204 daily services instead of 190 services from Monday to Saturday. In a tweet, Minister of Railways Piyush Goyal has commended Kolkata Metro for extending its services. For senior citizens, ladies and children below 15 years, e-pass will not be required throughout the day. For all other passengers, e-pass will not be required between 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. in the morning and 8 p.m. onwards in the evening. No token will be issued and only smart card shall be used.
Ahmedabad-based Zydus Cadila Pharmaceuticals has announced that the company has received an approval from the Drugs Controller General of India, DGCI, to begin the Phase 3 clinical trials with its biological therapy, pegylated interferon alpha-2b PEGIHEP in COVID-19 patients. PEGIHEP is an approved drug and is being repurposed for the treatment of COVID-19. According to sources, the trials will be conducted on 250 patients across 25 centers in India during this month. The Ahmedabad-based healthcare major had completed the Phase 2 clinical trials last month. The second phase trials indicated that this biological drug had a beneficial impact on the patients suffering from moderate COVID-19 disease by reducing their viral load. Professor of Endocrinology at All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi, Dr. Rajesh Khargawat has said there is no medicine for coronavirus as of now. The only way to avoid it is to follow precautions. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Khargawat said one must not lower the guard as the pandemic is still on.
ये एक ऐसी बीमारी है जिसका बहुत अच्छा इलाज हमारे पास नहीं है, लेकिन हमारे पास बहुत सारे ऐसे स्टेप्स हैं जिससे हम इजीली बच सकते हैं। और सबसे बड़ा जो कदम हम उठा सकते हैं वो यह है कि हम एक दूसरे से दूरी बनाए रखें, और दूसरा कि हमें मास्क पहनना है, फेस कवर करके रखना है, ताकि इसके अलावा हमें ये करना है कि हम आंख, नाक, मुंह को नहीं छुएं, बार बार मास्क को नहीं छुएं, बार बार हाथ को धोते रहें। और हो सकता है आने वाले समय में कोरोना की वैक्सीन आ जाए, लेकिन जब तक ये वैक्सीन नहीं आती है हमें ये भूलना नहीं है कि कोरोना गया नहीं है, और ये सारे कदम हमें एहतियात के तौर पर उठाने हैं ताकि हम कोरोना से बच सकें।
Beginning today, the New Services Division is bringing glimpses of the year that was in our special series Year-Ender 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic has been the biggest story of the year, and India has seen a fight back against the disease under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India's COVID-19 infections per million and deaths per million are both much lower than many developed countries. India, in fact, was among the quickest to react at the government and institutional level. Talking to AIR News, Niti Aayog member Dr. V.K. Paul said that India has responded to the corona pandemic in a graded, stepwise and proactive manner over the past 9 months. He said as per the estimates, lakhs of COVID cases were averted and several lives were saved.
जो इस पॉजिटिव केस के कांटेक्ट में आया, उसके साथ जो उसका साथ था, उसके पहले कुछ दिनों तक ऐसे व्यक्तियों को भी नजर में अपने आप को रखना है, अलग होना है, ताकि दूसरों की तरफ आपका संक्रमण आपसे ना जाए। ऐसे हम जिम्मेवारियां निभाएंगे, देश की क्षमता बढ़ाएंगे, अपने आप को कोरोना से बचाएंगे और अपने से आगे संक्रमण ना हो वो जिम्मेवारी निभाएंगे, तो इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है कि इस संक्रमण को हम पूरा कंट्रोल करेंगे, जानें भी बचेंगी और हमारी इकोनॉमी भी बचेगी, व्यवसाय भी बचेंगे और हमारा देश इस महामारी कैलेमिटी से, मुसीबत से उभर कर एक आत्मनिर्भर और सशक्त भारत बनके सामने आएगा।
Our correspondent takes a look at the quick decisions taken by the centre in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic.
Containing the spread of coronavirus has been a big challenge, and India stood up to it with the Prime Minister leading from the front. On 20th March, Mr. Modi addressed the nation and gave the call a unique Jan Bhagidari initiative, Janta Curfew. People responded spontaneously, and this prepared the nation mentally for an upcoming lockdown. It was followed by a nationwide lockdown from March 24th. The period of lockdown was utilized to create 15,362 dedicated COVID-19 health facilities, about 15,40,000 isolation beds, 2,70,000 oxygen-supported beds, and 78,000 1,000 ICU beds. Screenings, quarantine, isolation, advisories, guidelines and protocols were put in place to ensure the safety of the citizens. Doctors, paramedics, healthcare and frontline workers put their best foot forward. Test, track and treat became the mantra. From one COVID testing lab in January, the nation now has more than 2,000 functional labs. More than 1 million people are being tested on a daily basis. Currently, India has one of the highest recovery rates in the world. India has now become self-reliant in production of masks, PPE kits and ventilators. It speaks volumes about India's fight against corona. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
In Andhra Pradesh, 630 people tested positive for COVID-19 during the last 24 hours. On the other hand, 882 people recovered during this period. The total number of affected people has reached 8,71,305 and out of them, 8,58,115 have recovered in the state. 6,166 people are under COVID treatment, while 7,024 COVID deaths have been reported in the state. More than 1 crore and 3 lakh samples have been tested so far in Andhra Pradesh.
The World Health Organization hopes to have 500 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines available for distribution by the global COVAX initiative in the first quarter of 2021. This was stated by Chief Scientist Soumya Swaminathan at a Geneva news conference yesterday. Till date, 189 countries have joined the COVAX program, which is backed by the WHO and seeks to ensure equitable distribution of vaccines. The United States is not amongst them, having secured bilateral deals. The initial COVAX plan is to vaccinate 20% of populations at highest risk, including health workers and people aged over 65. Ms. Soumya Swaminathan told that the goal is to get at least 2 billion doses by the end of 2021, which will be enough to vaccinate 20% of the populations of the countries that are part of COVAX. She said this would be enough to bring an end to the acute phase of the pandemic by reducing mortality and the impact on health systems. Towards the end of the first quarter of 2021, some countries can start expecting doses. It is likely that a few countries may start earlier, she said, without elaborating. COVAX is co-led by the Gavi Vaccines Alliance, the WHO and the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, CEPI. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone of the new proposed Parliament building in New Delhi on the 10th of this month. Addressing media in New Delhi, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla said that the new building is being constructed keeping in mind the need of next 100 years. He said the new Parliament building is being constructed at a cost of 971 crore rupees, which will house more committee rooms and political parties' offices than the existing Parliament House. He said this will be one such temple of democracy of Atmanirbhar Bharat that will reflect the diversity of the nation. He said it will be 17,000 square meters bigger than the old Parliament building. Mr. Birla said that when the country will celebrate its 75th Independence Day in 2022, the sittings of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha will be held in the new Parliament building.
ये हमारा नया संसद भवन बनेगा जो हम सबके लिए गौरव का प्रतीक होगा, क्योंकि यहाँ से हमने पुराने संसद भवन से हमारी आजादी की यात्रा शुरू की थी। जब आजादी के 75 वर्ष होंगे तब हम नए संसद भवन के अंदर जो हमारे गौरवपूर्ण इतिहास का लोकतंत्र का मंदिर होगा, वहाँ हम सदन की दोनों सभाएं वहाँ पर शुरू करेंगे।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the construction work of Agra Metro project on Monday at 11:30 a.m. through video conferencing. The Agra Metro project comprises 2 corridors with a total length of 29.4 kilometers and connects major tourist attractions like Taj Mahal, Agra Fort, Sikandra with railway stations and bus stands. The project will benefit 26 lakh population of the city of Agra and will also cater to more than 60 lakh tourists who visit the city every year. It will provide an environment-friendly mass rapid transit system to the historical city. The estimated cost of the project will be over 8,379 crore rupees, which will be completed in 5 years. The Agra Metro is also designed in such a way that it will provide environment-friendly, comfortable, hassle-free connectivity to 4 major railway stations, bus depots, colleges, schools, offices, residential areas, commercial places, malls and tourist spots of the city. Our correspondent has filed this report.
In an exclusive interview with AIR, MD of Uttar Pradesh Metro Rail Corporation Kumar Keshav said that Agra Metro will be a boon to the tourism sector and it will take around 3 years for the first metro train to run on the priority section between Taj Mahal to Jama Masjid.
इसमें 3 एलिवेटेड स्टेशन और 3 अंडरग्राउंड स्टेशन है, आगरा फोर्ट, ताज महल एंड जामा मस्जिद। ये वर्क अब शुरू होने जा रहा है, पहले एलिवेटेड होगा फिर अंडरग्राउंड, और क्योंकि अंडरग्राउंड है तो इससे कंस्ट्रक्शन में थोड़ा टाइम ज्यादा लगता है। तो हम ये एंटिसिपेट करते हैं कि हम प्रायोरिटी सेक्शन का वर्क जो है करीब 3 से 3.5 साल में कंप्लीट करेंगे।
He said that first time heritage impact assessment was done with the help of IIT Madras and Archaeological Survey of India as per the guidelines of UNESCO before starting of work. Agra is also one of the most polluted cities of Uttar Pradesh and the metro will definitely help in decreasing the pollution level of the city. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Fifth round of talks between central government and farmers concludes. Next meeting to be held on Wednesday. COVID-19 national recovery rate improves to 94.28%. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone of new proposed parliament building in New Delhi on the 10th of this month. Kolkata Metro to increase its train services from 190 to 204 from Monday. And in cricket, India to take on Australia in the second encounter of the 3-match 2020 series in Sydney tomorrow. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
To get accurate, reliable and wide coverage of news, tune into AIR News 24/7 and FM Gold and listen to the major bulletins at 8:30 a.m., 2 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. in English and 8 a.m., 2:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. in Hindi of half an hour each.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that even during the testing times of COVID-19, India has got record investment and much of this investment has come in the tech sector. The Prime Minister was delivering his keynote address at IIT 2020 Global Summit organized by Pan IIT USA yesterday.
In these testing times of COVID-19, India has got record investment. Much of this investment has come in the tech sector. Clearly, the world sees India as a trustworthy and promising partner. Friends, the collective force of the Pan IIT movement can add momentum to our dream of becoming an Atmanirbhar or self-reliant India.
The Prime Minister said the government is strongly committed to promote science and technology education in India. He said the government has ensured that the brand of IITs has only become stronger. He said in recent times, a culture of hackathons is developing in the country, and in them, young minds are giving outstanding solutions to national and global problems. The Prime Minister reiterated that the government is fully committed to the principle of reform, perform and transform.
Ours is a government fully committed to the principle of reform, perform, transform. There is no sector left out from our reforms. Agriculture, atomic energy, defense, education, healthcare, infrastructure, finance, banking, taxation, the list goes on.
Mr. Modi listed out many path-breaking reforms brought in by the government in various sectors, such as assimilating 44 union labour laws into just 4 codes, having one of the lowest corporate tax rates in the world, and production-linked incentive scheme in 10 key sectors to enhance exports as well as manufacturing. The Prime Minister said our actions today will shape our planet tomorrow. He said the post-COVID-19 order will be about relearning, rethinking, re-innovating and reinventing. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, State Election Commissioner K.K. Sharma informed that 61.1% and 49.25% voter turnout was recorded yesterday in the third phase of Panch and Sarpanch by-polls. AIR Jammu correspondent reports that the by-poll for vacant Panch seats were held in 327 constituencies in the third phase. A total 31,844 electors out of 52,118 voted in the third phase of Panch by-elections.
Jharkhand has become the latest state to go for option 1 to meet the revenue shortfall arising out of GST implementation. Jharkhand will get 1,689 crore rupees through special borrowing window to meet the GST implementation shortfall. Permission to raise additional 1,765 crore rupees through borrowings has also been issued to Jharkhand. With this, all the 28 states and 3 union territories with legislature have decided to go for option 1. Under the terms of option 1, states and union territories will get the facility of a special window for borrowings to meet the shortfall arising out of GST implementation and are entitled to get unconditional permission to borrow the final installment of 0.5% of gross state domestic product GSDP out of the 2% additional borrowings permitted by the government under Atmanirbhar Abhiyan in May this year. A special CBI court in Bangalore today granted bail to former Karnataka Minister Roshan Beg in the I-Monetary Advisory IMA investment scam. Granting conditional bail to Beg, the court asked him to cooperate with the investigation, surrender his passport and report to the CBI headquarters in Bangalore on the 2nd and 4th Monday of every month. The court granted bail based on health grounds as the accused had recently undergone an angiogram. The CBI had arrested Roshan Beg on the 22nd of November. He is accused of taking 400 crore rupees from the managing director and CEO of IMA Group of Companies, Mohammad Mansoor Khan, allegedly depriving the investors of their returns.
World Soil Day is being observed today. The day is held annually on this day to focus attention on the importance of healthy soil and to advocate sustainable management of soil resources. The theme of this year is Keep Soil Alive, Protect Soil Biodiversity, which aims to address the growing challenges in soil management, fighting soil biodiversity loss, increasing soil awareness, and encouraging governments, organizations, communities, and individuals around the world to commit to proactively improving soil health. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar has said that India has done important work in the field of soil health and has shown the way to many countries. In cricket, India will take on host Australia in the second encounter of 3-match 2020 series in Sydney tomorrow. The match will begin at 1:40 p.m. India defeated Australia by 11 runs in the first T20 match in Canberra on Friday to take 1-0 lead in the series. Indian players will be looking forward to extending their winning streak and aiming to seal the series tomorrow. Ravindra Jadeja, who was hit on the helmet in the final over on Friday, has been ruled out of the remaining series due to concussion. He will be replaced by fast bowler Shardul Thakur for the second and third T20s. The ball-by-ball commentary of the match will be broadcast on FM Rainbow, Rajdhani, PB, YouTube and other channels of All India Radio, Delhi. It can be heard from 1:15 p.m. till the end of the match.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. In Jammu, minimum temperature will be 10 degrees Celsius while maximum will be 24 degrees. The city will have partly cloudy sky. Srinagar will have generally cloudy skies. The temperature will hover between 1 degree Celsius and 8 degrees. In Leh, the minimum temperature will be -7 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be 4 degrees. It will have generally cloudy sky. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with temperature hovering between 1 degree Celsius to 13 degrees. Muzaffarabad will have generally cloudy skies. The temperature will move from 6 to 18 degrees Celsius. The national capital will have shallow fog with temperature varying between 12 and 28 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear skies. The temperature will vary between 18 and 34 degrees Celsius. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunderstorm. The temperature will hover between 21 and 24 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will witness partly cloudy skies. The city will observe minimum temperature of 17 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 29 degrees. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 9 and 25 degrees Celsius.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Fifth round of talks between central government and farmers concludes, next meeting to be held on Wednesday. COVID-19 national recovery rate improves to 94.28%. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone of new proposed parliament building in New Delhi on the 10th of this month. Kolkata Metro to increase its train services from 190 to 204 from Monday. And in cricket, India to take on Australia in second encounter of the three-match T20 series in Sydney tomorrow. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.